Alright, hey, he's Mega here, and I'm shooting a video on some Warp9 axle sliders, alright? I've been wanting some of these for a while now, specifically for the Sura Light-B, but I bought these for my Alta Redshift SM here, okay? So, you need axle sliders when you go on a racetrack, guys, more specifically like kart tracks and stuff, but it's good to have them if you're doing like track days and stuff. So, the reason to have them is if your bike goes down, it slides and it doesn't damage the track, okay? So no metal contact. These have Delrin sliders on it, alright? So basically what these do is they take the place of your axle adjuster blocks, and there's a little puck on it, alright? And the puck is what lets the bike slide if it goes down, okay? So this is the specific model that I got for it, alright? I actually I sent an email to Warp9 and they said, sorry, we don't make axle blocks. We don't make axle sliders for your bike. I asked them if the ones for the KTM will fit on the Alta Redshift, right? Because it uses like a KTM axle and like KTM style wheels. So it might fit, alright, but I guess maybe they don't have an Alta, which is funny because they're the ones that make the wheels for this bike. So okay. But anyway, yeah, they said sorry, we don't sell that part for that bike. So I have to do I have to be the guinea pig here is what I'm gonna say. All right, so this is, I have the front one also, so check that video out. I don't think the front will fit, but it won't fit because the rod is probably not long enough. And I'll go over that when we get to that one. All right, but anyway, this is videos for the rear axle sliders. All right. And the model for this, I'll put a subtitle below, alright? So when you go to the Warp9 website, you got to put in like what bike you have, alright? And then they'll know which one to send you, right? And so this is for the rear axle sliders. It's for a KTM Husqvarna, alright? Husqvarna FE-TE 125-501, 2014 to 2017 models. The FC250 to 450 2014 model, the FC350 2014 to 2015 models, and the TC125 250 2014 to 17. Okay, so the KTM Huskies have they use the same axle, guys, the same kind of axle block. And then for KTM's, the EXC, EXC-F, XCW, XCFW 125 to 530 cc 2014 and 2017. All right, and then the SXF XCF 125 to 450 cc 2014 to 2012 models, and the SMR 450 to 560 2004 to 2012 models. Okay, so you're gonna have to put that model on the drop down menu to get these sliders. Okay. If anything, it's just, it's for a KTM or Husky, okay? Alright, so let's take a closer look at these and then we'll go and install them, alright? Okay, so here's what they look like in the bag. Alright, it says Warp9 Racing here. You can get these at warp9racing.com or wherever you can buy Warp9 Racing products, okay? So it comes with 2 axle slider blocks, as you can see. Alright, and then this is the number on the back here. Alpha Sierra -3014-2. Okay, that's the number. Okay, so open it up. Okay, that's what one looks like. Okay, I think they sell these in red. Also, I think there's an option that you can get like the KTM orange color or black. So my bike's not orange, so I picked the black ones. Alright, so basically these go in place of your axle adjuster block. So basically it's just the whole block and then the puck is bolted to it. Okay, and you can buy replacement pucks from Warp9 also. So it comes with 2 sliders, or 2 axle blocks, and then this nut here. Okay, I don't know if we're going to be using that or not. And then yeah, so the way the axle works on the KTM is, I guess the axle actually screws into the adjuster block, all right, and then that screws on the other side. Okay, so I will go ahead and install it. All right, this is 3014 there. Maybe that's some kind of part number. Okay, pretty sweet. All right, I'm gonna go install it, and I'll let you know what happens. All right. Before I install it, I'll just show you what I'm rocking right now. My homemade Hades Omega spec slider system, right? Axle slider system. All right, if you want to learn how I made these, I will put a link at the end of the video. All right, this cost me like $10. Oh, by the way, yeah, this will cost you $65, right? $65, and then Warp9 will charge you like a lot for shipping. That's what it looks like. All right, but anyway, yeah, this slider, it goes through the axle, right? So the nice thing about these sliders are that you could probably use a swing arm spool stand on it, all right, and you can take the wheel off, all right. If you use a swing arm spool slider with this, you can't take the wheel off because it's in the way of the axle. Okay, so that's one of the advantages of it. All right, and then you don't have, if you need to remove the wheel, you don't have to take this off. Okay, so because this is part of it. It also makes it easier to take the axle off because you can use the puck as like a handle to pull the axle out. Okay, so those are just some benefits to having this style. All right, this is my favorite style right here, but it has to be like custom made. It has to fit in your swing arm and stuff. All right, okay, let's go install it. Okay, the first step is to well, I took the other sliders off. Okay, so it has a 27mm nut here. You gotta take it out. All right, I got a 27mm socket here. Off it goes. Okay, and then you gotta remove the axle. Okay, I'm just gonna remove the axle. I'm not gonna take the wheel off. I'm not gonna take the chain off. Okay, I've got it on a pit bull stand also. So. Okay, I'm just gonna leave the wheel hanging there. There's the axle right there, and then there's the block. Okay, so I got the stock adjuster blocks out for the Redshift. All right, and it's right here. Okay, and I've just got it over this one. So as you can see, they're pretty much the same size. Let's take a measurement here. Okay, we got pretty much 42mm right there. Okay, and the stock adjuster block is 42.3, so it's like almost half a millimeter wider. All right, is that going to make a difference? I hope not. Okay, let's compare it to the other side. Okay, the other side is 42.5. It's even bigger. No, it's 42.3. Yeah, it's about 42.5-ish. Now this one is 42. Okay, yeah, pretty much 42. So it's a slightly smaller, right? There's going to be a little bit of a play in there, which is not good, but I think once your axle is snugged up, it's not going to really matter, guys. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't move around when you're riding, but that's why you got to have it nice and snug in there. Okay, so the next thing to do is to remove the axle from this block here. All right, I'm not really sure how to do it either. So, okay, here's what you got to do. So what I've done is I put the adjuster block on the vise there. I've got some aluminum jaws right there. Hopefully they don't want to mess up the jaws, but and that's going to hold that part in place. And then we're going to put this. I believe that's what this nut is for, guys. Screw this nut in until it bottoms out. All right. Then go get your axle nut. Okay. Tighten your axle nut on top of that. It's my first time working with anything kind of KTM, guys, so. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use a cheater bar here. And then you're going to tighten these two together, basically. Really tight. Okay. And if you did it right, you should be able to get the nut off. The axle off. Oh, nope. Not quite. Okay, gotta tighten it more. Okay, and hopefully it'll come out. What you could do is, I watched the video to do this, so okay guys. What you could do is like try to hold them together. It's very awkward. Oh, dude, this will come out. Okay, gonna heat the adjuster block up with some MAP gas. Okay. Make sure nothing that will melt is nearby. Okay, hopefully it doesn't discolor it. I'm going to try to remove it this way. Oh, there we go. Haha, I got it. I got it, guys. The torch worked the wonder. Yeah, I figured there's some kind of Loctite in there that's keeping it from coming out. At some point this thing's just gonna fall off. I think I can probably do it by hand now. There we go. Okay, there you go. Yeah, like I thought, there's red Loctite in there, right? I don't have red Loctite, but I will put Loctite on the new one. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna let that cool down for a minute, and then we'll put this one in the vise, and then we'll put it on there. Okay, I'm gonna put my new block in here. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and install our the axle onto the block. Okay, now. Don't worry, I'm not bleeding. It's just red Loctite, all right? Just gonna put some red Loctite on the threads here. All right, I think that should be good. I'll put it in there. Should I add a little more? Let's see. As long as it covers all the threads, it should be fine. Oh, okay. Now there's enough. All right, and then screw it in there. All right, make sure it's facing the right direction. That's pretty common sense, right? Screw that in there. Okay, I don't know what torque to put it at. Boy, it doesn't. There's still a lot sticking out. Okay, the axle's torqued at 60 foot-pounds, so that's what we're going to put it on. We're going to torque it to 60 foot-pounds. I think we can do it. Okay, that looks good. That's about 60 foot-pounds right there. And there we go. And then now we have to take out the axle nut, okay? So to do that, get our cheater bar again, and our thingy here. Okay. And just do that scissor action. Okay. Oh my god. It's really tight now. What the freak? There we go. I could have just used the impact gun too. I didn't think about that. Okay. It's out. Take the little nut out. I'm pretty sure that's the only thing this is for, alright? Just so you have a jam nut, okay? And we're done. Let's go install it on the bike. Okay, I'm gonna wipe all that excess red stuff, alright? And then the grease still looks good, so we'll go ahead and install it. It does make it easier to install because there's something to grip on, you know? Stick my foot underneath the wheel. Okay. Cool. Okay, and we're gonna go install the other adjuster. Alright, so now would be a good time to tension your chain. Okay, go ahead and put your nut back on. Alright, make sure your wheel is, make sure the adjuster blocks are pressed up against the bolts, alright, the adjuster bolts. You can press forward on this. Okay. Now would be a good time to adjust your chain tension if you, yeah, because it might have changed. I'm not sure how the distance between this block and compared to the stock one, it could have changed. So you're going to want to adjust the thing. All right, but the last thing to do would be to set your torque wrench to about 60 foot-pounds. All right, it's actually 59 foot-pounds, guys. The manual is in Newton meters. All right, I want to do like 62. How about that? Okay. And then what you should probably do is wait for the red Loctite to set too. So, but okay, there you go. Okay, there it is with it installed. All right, it fits. It looks like it belongs there. All right, so now you will be using these adjusters. They're not quite as fine as the one that's on the stock adjuster, but it'll work. All right, I would use this little notch right here. All right, the flat spot here, and align that to wherever one of the lines are, and then make sure that they're the same on each side. Okay. All right, but there's this side. All right, this is the right side. Don't pay attention to the hole in my my axle nut. All right, I did order a new one. I'm gonna so that is for my my other thing. All right, my other puck. All right, but there it is. There's the slider puck right there. If you want to take it out, there's a Allen head bolt right here. So take it out, and you can replace it with a new one. All right, you can also use it as a spool. You can use it with a paddock stand, all right, that has the spool sliders, all right, the little, the little fork thing that goes up here, that'll bring your thing up. However, you won't be able to remove your wheel with that kind of paddock stand, all right. You have to use this kind of stand, all right, if you want to remove the axle, all right, because if you use the swing, the fork type, you cannot get these, you won't be able to get the block out, all right? You won't be able to get the axle out. Yeah. So, unfortunately, that's one of the downsides to this, okay? But just use a dirt bike stand, man. This is freaking dirt bikes. Use a dirt bike stand, man. Don't use these goofy-ass paddock stands, man. Okay, so here's the other side, the left side. One thing I want to note is that this, I think there was like one, maybe, I don't know, it was the distance from the threads on the stock adjuster block was a lot less than this. All right, I'll put a picture just for comparison right now. Okay, yeah, this axle goes in a lot more. Okay, but it is using up all the threads, so it should be fine, guys. It's just gonna look a little goofy. There's some threads exposed here. Okay, if you want, you can plug this with something. All right, put some kind of a rubber plug in here, or screw some kind of weird bolt. This is a bolt that would go in there, the other side, to cover it up. Okay, if you wanted to. All right. If you don't want to look at that. Plus, dirt and stuff is going to get in there. So, okay, and this is the left side. That's the left puck right there. All right. Oh, you can see I didn't. There's a gap here. All right. Make sure there's no gap there. I'm gonna have to do it again. But yeah, when you're tightening the axle, make sure the wheel is forward. Okay. But I'm gonna go ahead and adjust the chain right now anyway. So I'm gonna loosen it again. So, but there it is. It's installed. Okay. Looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Warp9 didn't think it would work, but it did. So, so there you go, Warp9. It does fit. Now the question is, will the front ones fit? All right, that will be for another video. All right, and so with that, that is the Warp9 axle blocks, rear axle block slider. For the Alta Redshift. All right, so you have to buy the one for a KTM or a Husky. All right, and I'll put a link in. I'll put the which one you have to buy in the description of the video. I don't know if the other ones will fit, but this one fit fine. All right, like I said, I had to be the guinea pig to see if it would fit or not, and it does fit. Okay, one thing I noted is that this adjuster block is a little thicker than the Warp9 one. All right, it's thicker by almost half a millimeter. All right, so there's going to be a little bit of up and down play. That's fine as long as you tighten the axle. It's fine. All right, in my opinion. All right, but yeah, there you go. So now you got something to put a swing arm slider on, and then yeah, you've got a slider for your axle now. So you can, you know, the people at the track will be happy that if your bike goes down, it's not gonna scratch up the track, and you got something to protect your swing arm if it goes down. Okay. What you'll be left with is the two adjuster blocks. All right, the threaded one and the non-threaded one. All right, and then you'll have that jam nut. All right, so just keep that somewhere safe. All right, just in case you need it again. Yeah, I was wondering what this was for, and that was to take out the old one. All right. I didn't know how to do it. I've never worked on any KTM stuff before, guys. It's kind of weird, man. All right. Okay. So thanks for watching. I hope this was educational and entertaining. That's the Warp9 rear axle slider install on the Alta Redshift SM. Okay. Thanks for watching. Hazewig out. Okay. Also, so yeah, what helped a lot in taking the axle block out is torch. All right. They use red Loctite to put the axle onto the block, so it's going to be it was very difficult to get out. So to defeat the red Loctite, I use a torch. Okay, I use a map torch, the yellow gas. Yeah, so that helped a lot. I heated up for less than a minute. Don't heat it up. Don't heat it. I didn't heat it up enough where it discolored the anodizing. So you don't have to heat it up a whole lot, but it definitely helps. It makes the metal expand, and it softens up that red Loctite. All right, he's okay. Here. So it's a little while after I've shot the previous clip about the Warp9 rear axle sliders, and so here's one of the benefits. Like I mentioned earlier, but I'm going to show you guys right now of having these slider pucks on there. Is that you can use a paddock stand, all right, just like this one. All right, this is a Harbor Freight one, the one that has the little forks. All right, you can use that the spool. You could use the pucks on this with this type of paddock stand. All right, so it makes it a lot easier to get it on there instead of using the one that goes on the swing arm. So you just got to make sure it's set up properly. Okay, and then line up the forks. And up it goes. Okay, so that's another added benefit, all right, of having the
these pucks on there, all right? The axle sliders, they allow you to use this type of stand, all right, with the little forks that go on the spools. Yeah, so, and it's way easier to use than the one that I prefer this method, all right. And there's no threaded holes or anything for the pucks anywhere, so this is the next best thing, all right. And it works pretty good. The bike is not that heavy, so it's pretty easy to lift up on these stands. All right, this is an aluminum one, so it's not super duper heavy duty, but this is not that heavy a bike. I used to use this stand for my Impulse TT, and that was like 475 pounds. All right, this is almost half of that weight. Okay, and I'm gonna show you how easy it is to take it off, just like that. You can move it front and back too, as you can see. All right, and then it's on the side stand now. Pretty sweet. All right, so there you go. So that's another added benefit of having it on there. Now, the problem with this is that you cannot take the rear wheel off. All right, you can use it to put tire warmers on, or if you want to do some kind of chain maintenance, like lubing it or something, you can do that. Or I don't know what else you could do with it. That's about it. So chain maintenance and putting tire warmers on. That's about it. All right. Or if you just need to get the bike straight up and down, right? Okay, but yeah, you can't take the wheel off, unfortunately, because of the way it is. You'd have to loosen the axle, and then everything would fall apart, and it would just fall off the stand. All right, you can't do it. All right, so, but you could use it as like a paddock stand. All right, if you wanted to take the wheel off, you'd have to use a jack, kind of like that one right there. So, okay, but you can. That's the beauty of having a Supermoto. All right. So there you go. That's an added benefit for having the Warp9 axle sliders. Pretty sweet.